Dum 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 dum. Well, welcome everybody. It's been a couple of days since I posted the last video, last podcast, whatever you call it. It's been going on. I'm not touching Ukraine yet. I have a couple of things, but I want to see what's happening. But I want to make a statement. War is evil. Only innocent people die in it. Simple as, and it's unnecessary. Okay? It doesn't suit anyone. It only pays back to the people that actually started the war. The individuals. The whole bunch of people that are stuck there, they're trying to flee the country, are basically innocent. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be even in the midst of war. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in when we basically are being governed by individuals, by units of people, control millions of lives. And those lives, those millions of innocent lives, they don't matter to them. It's as simple as it is. So, Russian people are dying, Ukrainian people are dying, soldiers. That shouldn't be happening. Simple as. But I want to jump over to the more local news because at the moment the gas prices are going up. I had the quote from my local oilman, which said it's going to be a €650 for 500 liters of kerosene. Perfect. It's great news because this is what you have to pay to get your home heaters going. Well, but as you know, the whole country is in distress. There's nowhere we can get oil from or gas, or maybe we can. But let's start from the beginning. Did you know the Bank of Ireland, this is on Yahoo Finance, okay, on Monday, February 28th, so that was last week, nearly last week, Bank of Ireland posts highest profit in more than a decade. We read the Dublin, that's via Reuters, right? The fact checkers, actually they're writing the stuff as well. Bank of Ireland on Monday posted its biggest annual profit since the global financial crisis more than a decade ago, and it set plans to return of €104 million, which is $160 million, to shareholders through dividends and buybacks. So it wrote back €194 million of the provisions, helping almost double profits from the pre-pandemic €758 million in 2019. The bank's previous highest profit since the Irish banking crisis, we all remember that, we're still paying for it, was €1.2 billion in 2015. Celtic Tiger. Okay? Finance chief Miles Grady told Reuters a 12% rise in income year on year and a 4% drop in cost was strong endorsement of its strategy to cut costs to €1.5 billion. You remember all the branches are closing down and all the big branches are only open. And by the end of the next year, and deliver a sustainable return on tangible equity above 10%. O'Grady said he expects the European Central Bank (ECB) to increase interest rates over the course of 2022. Just remember that. He expects the European Central Bank is going to increase the interest rates over the course of 2022 just because the oil prices go up, the inflation is hitting us hard, and the interest rates are going to go up. So, right, you want to get the credit, you want to take the credit to buy a car, to get a mortgage, good luck. That's how they cripple you. There's not going to, if you think they're going to cap us, they're going to say the prices are not going to go up, this is what you are wrong. They're in debt so much that they can't afford it. But this is by their own doings. It's like we never voted for that shit. We voted for people that were supposed to be supporting us, but on the other hand, they're not supporting us because they're supporting only their own party and their own leaders. So, I had an idea. What should we do? I said that we need to replace all TDs who are a part of any political party with independent TDs who represent counties or local communities where people's interest is their main focus. Okay? To centralize politics altogether. Keep them in one spot in Dublin, but have people in it that actually care about you. Not like the fucking cow shit up there that's absolutely doesn't give a flying feck on what's going to happen to you. Once they're back at that field and you vote for them, they're going to be asking for your vote again, and they're going to knock on your door. As I said before, they're going to knock on your door and they're going to ask you for your vote. And they don't even know who you are. But this is what it is. Simple as. But we probably have a good news for you, maybe myself. And this topic has been actually kicking me for a while. What I have for you is a couple of news. You probably know about it. And people are giving out on Twitter that we do have our own shit, which we probably don't use. We do have it, but that's not even going into our pockets. Weird, isn't it? But I'm only going to start on this subject for you. Because in 2012, The Guardian had an article out that Ireland offshore oil field has over 1 billion barrels, says drilling company. It's Providence Resources. The Barry Ore field of County Cork could produce 1.6 billion barrels and be as important as North Sea. So you know what happens in Norway. I'm going to show you a little clip on whatever's happening in Norway. How is that being managed? Ireland First offshore oil field contains more than 1 billion barrels of oil. And you'd be thinking that they're going to produce, they're going to, drill it, they're going to extract it, and they're going to sell it, and they're going to use the profit to support their own nation. That would be a perfect scenario, wouldn't it be? So you have our own company doing our own stuff, getting oil out, like in Dubai, selling over, getting rich, making investments, making sure that the people that live in this country are happy. No debt, just a bit maybe, no money printing or anything like that. But you'll be thinking, what's happened to it? Well, if you do a bit digging, you'll find out. So there's a little summary in this article from 2012. So that's 10 years ago. So we shouldn't be pretty set up, people, the price of fuel wouldn't be going down despite of the effect of the Russia-Ukraine war has on it, because the prices are going up. As I said, it's gonna hit €2, and probably if you listen to it in 2023, it's probably did hit €3 by the time, or maybe the price went down, maybe something was done, but I hope it was. So this well in Ballyroe is bigger than a lot of fields in the North Sea. The next question is, what will be the recovery rate? So in the North Sea is 38%. This is a very big tank of oil at Ballyroe. Now we have to look how to develop. The industry is beginning to speculate in London, and they would have higher recovery rates than previously they thought possibly from our field. So Ireland consumes about 140,000 barrels of imported oil every day. So imagine if the country started producing its own. In terms of security of supply, the jobs created, and the revenue to the taxpayer, this is a very good news for the entire island in the time of recession. That's 2012. So they gave us a good news that something's happening. What's happening to it? Let's find out. So nearly 9 years ago, Joe.ie just posted this article there. So, and it says, in it, well, the potential tax gain would be more than enough to cover the 31 billion debt created by Anglo-Irish Bank. This could shave so much time of a current 10 to 15 year repayment sentence. So we're still paying, I think. If the debt was paid off in full, there would still be a further 16 billion to pay in interest, but the further oil finds could put us completely in the clear. Simple as. Aside from helping us with the crippling debts, the oil find could help to remove Ireland from its dependence of imported energy sources. So we have the situation now at the moment where we are dependent, and with cutting the pipelines, stopping deliveries and stuff like that, we're basically still dependent on stuff. But according to reports, a 100-meter test drill carried out by the Providence in Ballyroe resulted in oil find that exceeded expectations dramatically. It is reported that the test drill found an oil field that contains at least 373 million barrels of oil, possibly as much as 893 million. In short, there's a load of oil up the coast of Cork. So That's what it is. But what happened? So I'm going to disappear for a moment. I want to let you watch it. Okay? Just listen to it and just take whatever you want from it.
Your economy seems to be going well. It's very prosperous and successful.
Yes, it is.
Why is this?
Of course, it's very much due to the oil industry.
We got a lot of oil. Oil. 3 letters, O-I-L.
Because of the oil? Oil, yeah.
It's natural resources.
Because of the oil.
Because of the oil, yeah.
Oil.
Oil? Oil? I don't know.
Oil?
Or oil.
Because of the oil?
Oil.
Yeah, I think it's the oil. Because of the oil? The oil?
From the oil?
The oil. Because we have all this oil and gas in the North Sea.
And that's people from Norway talking to you. So who owns?
For Norwegians, we think about that particular natural resource as ours.
We all get a part of it, yeah.
Yeah, everyone. Each and single one, yes.
We own the shares in the oil ourselves, and the oil companies are paying quite a lot of taxes for it.
The tax rate of any oil company is 90%. 90% of whatever an oil company produces in Norway actually goes back to the government and to the people.
This country is good because they took the money from the oil many years ago and they put this money in education. They invest on people.
So why is Norway so
No, before the oil came, we were poor.
We have nothing before,
We have fishing.
but when we have oil,
Very good fishing.
we have much more.
Norway was actually one of the poorest countries.
It was very different before we found oil in the 60s. It changed the Norwegian economy in a quite dramatic way.
For all of my life, Norway has been rich and growing even richer. And you can see now the difference compared to our neighbors in Europe. That difference has grown. So today we have all these expectations about how much Norway, being one of the richest countries in the world, can provide for us as citizens.
So we have the country with in 60s and 70s they actually invested in oil and they found the supplies, they found the resources, and they went for it. And they said, yes, we're going to come back with every profit, and 90% of it we're going to invest back in the country. Well, it's a good thinking, isn't it? Well, I hope so.
And I think that no one in Norway really fears about losing their job, about their future.
How would you feel if your government gave the oil gas away?
Sånn vil jeg gjøre.
Not good.
Not good.
Wouldn't accept it.
I would feel fooled, like I wasn't a part of my country, like I didn't have anything to say, and that they just gave away the country's heritage.
Highly unlikely, I'd say, but I guess that would be sort of a reason for a war, wouldn't it?
So Norwegians have their own oil company called Statoil. That video was actually posted 9 years ago. So advantage of the resources. They have actually kept everything.
You might know that Ireland and Norway are quite similar. We have a similar population, we have fish, we've got nature, and we also have oil and gas.
Yes.
And it's estimated to be worth 540 billion. But our government gave it away, and the Irish people get 0%.
Did it give it away?
Guess how much the Irish people get from our gas?
I have no idea. How much?
Nothing. Our government gave it away for free, and we get nothing.
To who?
What do you think about that?
I feel sorry for you.
What do you mean the Irish people don't get our money?
Yeah, who got the money?
Because who gave it? Who did you give it to?
To Shell and Statoil, and they get it, and we don't. the people don't gain anything from it.
So Statoil has 36% stake in one of Ireland's newest gas fields. There's one field along. The one I mentioned, Irish men and women.
But because you guys
so the video goes on and on, and basically tells you what you need to know. But is there more? So what happens there is you think that everything's going to be staying here, but apparently the answer is nothing. This wealth will be leaving Ireland thanks to a deal made between the corrupt hockey government and multinational oil companies. Minister Ray Burke was later jailed for corruption, changed the law in 1987, reducing the state's share in our offshore oil gas from 50% to zero and abolishing royalties. In 1992, Bertie reduced the tax rate for the profits made from the sale of these resources from 50% to 25%. So what's going on? We're getting nothing. Basically, we're getting nothing. And whoever's going to defend that we should be giving that to the bigger companies, why? It's like we don't have any brains in this country that can actually do it properly. We can invest in stuff. We have data centers. We have smart IT guys. We have smart constructions people. They do stuff for us. We can learn everything. It's not like we just said because we don't have resources for that. It's basically because the government is corrupt and everything's being given away. But I am going to do more digging onto it. And the next thing that comes to my mind is to be looking into this. So you're probably thinking that most of the countries got screwed like that. But what happens is Bolivia nationalized its entire gas industry in 2006. At first, the reaction from the corporations and the international markets in both cases were furious because we don't know what's going on. It's going to come back all to the corrupt government and it's not going anywhere. But this warnings way came to nothing because in the end, the oil giants simply went along with these changes and when they realized there were still enormous profits to be made. Because they can make profits, but with keeping the certain amount of money in the country. Norway is one of the best examples, as the video says, of the state-controlled extraction of gas and oil. A significant chunk of the corrupt gas profits will benefit the Norwegian people through Statoil, as it's majority owned by the Norwegian government, has 36% stake in Corrib, and we're going to be digging into Providence Resources later on. Venezuela has begun nationalizing the industry within the past 2 years, but that's the old news. We don't know what's coming in Venezuela. But even if Ireland's gas and oil fields were nationalized, hundreds of billions of euros could be raised if Ireland took a similar share on its own gas, to which applies in other countries. This is the old information that I'm trying to gather from the internet, but there is probably more, and I'm going to do more digging into it, so I'm going to close it off as a part 1. And if I find something more, and if there is something more, guys, stick the comments down below, please do, because I am still interested in this matter. And I have the website open for Providence Resources, and I'm going to do some digging. And if there's a drone from them flying over my little studio, well, we'll see what happens next. Thank you for tuning in, and please take care, and I'll see you next time.